morning, everyone, and welcome to Think Future. My name's Chris Calabucas, and once again, we're coming at you live from deep in the heart of Silicon Valley, California. We're talking innovation, startups, the future, not necessarily those, and not necessarily in that order. If you're watching on YouTube, smack that subscribe button and hit that bell so you can be notified when a new show comes online. And if you're listening on your favorite podcast service, please subscribe and please drop a note on Apple Podcasts. I greatly appreciate it. Now, we are living in an unprecedented time. We are living in an unprecedented time where we are more tethered to our past than we have ever been before. Now, let me backtrack to a time before this tethering took place. So if you think about a typical person's life prior to the internet, is that you could argue that it was punctuated by separations, right? You had the separation of the child going to the school, from the home to the school. The first separation was going to the school and spending hours at the school instead of at home. That's separation one. Separation two would be going from elementary school to middle school. And then separation three would be going from middle school to high school. And these splits, and then going from high school to college, and then going from college to the working world. There were defined moments when not only were you able to renew yourself, let's say you could become a whole new person, and I think I've said before in other shows that one of the reasons why we don't decide one day to wake up and be a whole new person, which we could, was because of everybody else around us, the society we live in, the people we know would be freaked out by us acting differently. But in the past, we used to have these opportunities to sever our connections with our past. When we went from elementary school to middle school, we could decide to sever the connections with the past because we were in a whole new group of kids. And the same going from middle school to high school, and the same going from high school to college, especially at college, where you could end up being anywhere else in the country. You could be anywhere else in the country. You could live somewhere else completely. You have a whole opportunity to recreate yourself as a brand new person because you weren't tethered to the past. And ever since the internet, and ever since we started recording ourselves and connecting with individuals over the internet, we've created a monolithic persona that follows us all the way through our entire life. So from now on, from 2008 onwards, anybody who was born from 2008 onwards can be completely tethered to the past relationships, to the past people, to the past situations through their internet connection. So even if they do decide to move to a different school or move to a different place or move to a different country, they can still be tethered to the past. They still need to seem to act the same way. They still need to seem to be the same person. They don't have the same opportunities to start fresh like you used to be able to in the past. When you went from one place to another, when you physically moved and placed yourself in a completely different location surrounded by completely different things and completely different people, you could present yourself as a completely different person. But now we are tethered to every individual that we've ever met in our lives unless we want to individually cut them out of our lives through ghosting. So we are in an unprecedented time where we are more trapped, and maybe this is one of the reasons why we have such a malaise in mental health, is that we feel more trapped than ever in this persona that we've created for ourselves, which has been solidified in time through tethering to the past. That maybe we feel like we don't have the same kinds of freedom that we used to have when we were growing to adulthood. And if you think about it, maybe this is one of the reasons why there's so much infantilism going on. Maybe there's so much infantilism going on because we are all connected to the same people that we were with when we were kids. And they expect you to act the same way that you were when you were kids. Well, maybe not wholeheartedly, but they still know you from that time. And you're connected to them from that time. So they expect you to be like that. You can't, without purposely, intentionally cutting people out of your life and intentionally becoming a different person or going to a different place and intentionally untethering yourself from the past, only then can you begin to think about becoming a different person, which is something that we used to do all the time. We used to become different people as the stages of our life changed. But now we're perpetual children because we are tethered to the past. Solution? Untether ourselves. I think I mentioned to you in a previous show is that there is nothing stopping us from waking up tomorrow morning and being a completely different person. The ideal person that we've always wanted to be. Absolutely nothing stopping us internally. In here. What's stopping us is where we are and who we are with. The situation that we're living in. The life we are leading today. If you decide to wake up tomorrow morning and be a completely different person, then everyone around you and everything around you will be shocked. Because they'll say, "What happened to you? Why are you being like this? You're not normally like this. You're normally like that." And this might be one of the reasons why we can't change and we can't grow, because we don't have those cutting off events in our lives where we can say, I am going to give up the past. I'm going to disengage from the past. I'm going to say the past is the past, and the past is a different place. It's a different time. And I was a different person in the past. I no longer need to maintain that persona that I had since I was a kid. Because maybe that's the thing that's keeping the pressure on, is keeping us from changing, from becoming better, from growing, from becoming newer, better, more adult humans. So think about it. Are you still tethered to the past? Do you feel like you have to continue to feel and act the same way that you did when you're connecting with friends that you've known since 2008 or even earlier? Think about it for a second. Are they holding you back? Is this tethering to the past holding you back from becoming a brand new person, from becoming the new person that you want to be? Let me know in the comments below. That's it for me for today. See you next time, and until then, don't forget to think future.